Wow, you're so handsome, Matthew.
How's how's that looking?
You look like $1,000,000.
Fantastic.
We are live, and how good, Matthew? How the
Oh,
bloody hell are you?
good, man. Yeah, excited for another guest appearance.
Too right.
As
Well,
per.
we love having your smiley face on the camera. It's good to have you here.
Yep.
You've had a bunch of sessions with members over the last week. What have been some of the topics that you guys have chatted about? Just give us a state of the nation report. Give us an update, like what's going on in some of the members' worlds.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's I think it's kind of been pretty similar challenge over the last couple of months, especially around a bit of pricing with what's happening with lumber, and this live today is at the right time because that's also a big one is finding that team
Mm.
and hiring with everything that's kind of going on in the COVID world, still having some sort of disruption in the employment market. So I think this is a real sort of good one to dive into today as well.
Yeah, 100%. So regularly we get the question like, how do I do my hiring? How do I find a good insert position here? It's like project manager, site foreman, leading hand, qualified carpenter,
Yeah,
apprentice, office manager, construction manager, estimator, QS, contracts manager,
yeah,
uh, like all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of what we're going to dive a little bit deeper into today. We've got three frameworks to walk everybody through. So just so that we know that the tech is working and everything, can you just leave us a like? Can you leave us a comment? Can we get some? If we echo out, can we hear it back? Can you
yeah,
shout it
yeah.
back to us?
Hello, is there anyone out there?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So leave us that. So, like I said, we're going to be covering three frameworks today, and all of that's going to culminate in you knowing exactly how and who and how and when to hire your next person. And if you want all the resources that goes with this, then what you need to do is you need to comment below hiring, and everything we discussed today, and then some is going to be available in that PDF. It's going to be available in that document. We're going to send it through to you. All you need to do is comment hiring. So once you've given Matthew and me some love and you've said, "Hi, Matthew, how are you? Got any more fortune cookies for us?" Once you've said, "Hi, Owen, what's up, my man?" then you need to comment hiring and we'll hook you up. So without further ado, let's jump right into the meat and potatoes. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of things. Now, I'm actually going to start at the bottom of what I'm about to share, and I want Matthew to sort of walk us through what on earth we mean when we say BMD. Because you might have heard us talk about a BMD before, okay? But what does it actually mean,
Oh,
okay? You say
this
BMD?
business maturity day. That's right. The as wise men once said, the finish line in your business. I think often having sort of conversations and can often be looking at the next sort of 90 to days to 6 months, like what's in the pipeline, sort of looking ahead. But you really do need to know where you're trying to take this business from a bigger picture view. What does the next 2 to 3 years look like? Because that's going to help you to understand kind of the key steps to get there. It's both, that business maturity date is both like your role, like how do you fit into the business? What do you want to do? And what parts do you not want to do? What parts do you need to hire? And also, what's the lifestyle? What's the financial reward that you want for building that machine and that business as well? So it's getting clear on those kind of outcomes.
100%. A lot of people kind of go, "Yeah, I've got a plan. Yeah, I got a plan." And then plans change. Shit happens. You get punched in the face, like COVID happens. Maybe a job pulls out the 11th hour. Key people walk on and move on. And that's why it's so important to kind of work backwards from your destination and get really clear about some of the key people, the key systems, because systems don't get up and leave, that you need to have in place as you sort of work through your business journey. So that's what BMD is all about. Like Matthew was saying, it's your quote unquote finish line for the business. It's on a time horizon that we typically set to be around 3 years. So what? It's 15th of July today, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. 15th of July, 2024. Where do you want to be in relation to your time and your money, your two hard currencies? Okay. So when we say time, what role do you want to have in the business? Okay. How many hours do you want to be working? And when we say money, we're talking about both salary, net profit, okay? And then we can work backwards based on key industry ratios if you want to achieve this in a net profit, then you need to achieve this as a gross profit. This is a margin, okay? A margin on how much work, okay? What kind of work is going to make up that total sales value, all that sort of stuff. So that's what your BMD is, your business maturity date. Can I get a heck yeah in the comments below, or a BMD if you want to learn more about that, or if you already have set your BMD, and we can chat about that.
What's your figure? Like, what are you heading to? Put it in the comments.
100%. Nice. Okay. So that's the BMD. That's where we're going to start. Sorry, that's where we're going to end up. But what I want to start with is all around some key frameworks that we want to use when we're looking to hire. So the mistake most people make with their business is they don't set a BMD, or they don't know where they're going. Okay. And they get stuck in this messy middle of like, solving problems, but not having a clear finish line or destination they're going to. The same thing applies when we're hiring. We're like, fuck, need another person, but they don't have a clear idea of what that person needs to, what their responsibility, their scope of work needs to be, what outcome they would need to be achieving. So what I want to walk you through today is, yes, 100% we're going to get to how to hire a foreman, but these are some frameworks that you need to work through first before you go and hire somebody, so that you get the right person, the right the right approach, and it all comes up actually working for you. So the first one is the Moscow framework. You heard of this before, Matthew? You've applied this before. You've gone and done a bunch of hiring yourself. How have you found this one? And is it a helpful thinking exercise, or what?
Yeah, I think it's just, it's so good to like not just kind of throw more chaos into the machine and go, oh, well, like I'm busy, so if I just go hire someone, that's going to necessarily like free me up. Like, again, have a process to why you're hiring someone, like what specific part of the business are they plugging into, and is that a priority? Could you just run that more efficiently first, or bringing someone on and you're just creating more work for yourself because you're going to train them, you're going to have to onboard them, and this kind of framework helps you to, I guess, figure that out as well.
Yeah, 100%. So how does the Moscow framework work? Well, it starts like this. We want to give an answer for what is one thing this person must have. Okay? So what is one like non-negotiable? They must have this, otherwise you simply won't hire them. Okay? What's up, Marty? Far out. We've got a cameo. How good?
Hey, fantastic.
Yeah.
I've got an appointment and I just needed to grab some stuff. So I will leave you guys to it. Sounds great though. I've been listening in.
Very good. All right. So what is one must have? What is one non-negotiable that you need this person to have? So for example, if we're talking about, somebody that is going to run your sites, they need to have some really good project management, some really good attention to detail. They can't just bring a huge amount of enthusiasm, but keep making errors. That's just not something that they're going to be able to do. So what is your one must-have for this person that you're about to hire? Make sense so far, Matthew?
Yep, perfect.
Sweet as. Next part is what are two should-haves. So they maybe should have a bit of empathy, or maybe they should have some trade skills, or maybe they should have, some experience running sites already. Okay, like what are two should-haves for this role that you're hiring? Next, what are three could-haves? Okay, so this person could come from residential. They could come from commercial if they really had to. They could be younger. They could be older. Like, what are your maybe could-haves? But then really importantly, you want four answers. So we've gone one answer, two answers, three answers. We need to have four answers for what are your non-negotiably will you not have. I won't have insert here. And you might not have people that have not used Buildertrend before. You might have people that I won't have somebody that hasn't done renovations before, because there's a lot of like labor components to that, a lot of tag outs in those sort of projects. So what are your four non-negotiables that you won't have? This is like a thinking exercise. It's really to start kicking your brain into gear. It's called the Moscow framework, and I really recommend that we start here when you're looking for somebody that you need to hire. Make sense?
Yeah, and those won't haves might also be sort of incorporated into your actual hiring process. If you have some questionnaires, or some people do like personality, Question is that, potential employees fill in. Maybe if they fall into a certain category there or answer a question a certain way, you can say, well, look, hey, they're not, that's a won't have.
100%, bang on the money. Because all of this is going to flow from your thinking time here that we're sort of covering off into your job description, into your job ad. It's all going to flow from here. But like we said with the business maturity date, what you don't want to do is you don't want to kind of just be working for the sake of being busy for the sake of being busy, and not have a destination or finish line in sight. We also don't want to be, hiring. We don't want to be interviewing people without a really clear idea of what this role is going to look like. So this is why we always start here. You're on the bang on money. Cool. All right, let's move through to the next one, which is comprehension intensity, outcome skill. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that even mean? Okay, well, let's start with comprehension.
I'm listening.
Okay, dramatic pause for effect. Comprehension is all about bringing somebody in that has a good understanding and a good comprehension of what you're actually wanting. So there is nothing wrong with internally promoting and ascending people through your organization. It's fantastic. It works really well. And if you have the time, you have the skill in your team already, and they've been with you around you long enough that they know where you want to go, then maybe you can 100% do that. But one question you need to pose and you need to ask everybody, or when you need to ask as you're looking to fill this role, is, does this person have the comprehension of where I want to go? So I've drawn a little diagram. I've got an X marks a spot here and a star in terms of where you want to be up there. Okay, so you're down here at the moment and you want to be doing projects, or you want to be up here running a business that might look different to how it currently looks. That might mean that project size goes from 300K to 800K. That might mean that project size goes from 1 million to 1.5 million. That might mean projects go from renovations to new builds. That might mean a bunch of stuff. Okay, you're here and you're going there. That might mean that at the moment your team don't run anything, but you're going to step off the tools. You're going to start running the business as a general manager or as the business owner. Okay, and then your people need the comprehension to be able to go up here, now run sites, organize sub-trades, order materials, sign off the quality control, make sure that the inspections happen on time, do client site visits, run the project management software, do the scheduling, all this sort of stuff. So is the person that internally you're wanting to promote, do they have the comprehension that you need, or are you going to needing to bring somebody in that has already run sites, that has already run larger projects, that has had that responsibility and that understanding already? It's a really important one that you need to go through and you need to consider when you're hiring somebody. Do they have the comprehension here? Does that make sense, Matthew?
Yeah, it does. It's like, do they sort of understand the journey that you're trying to take, and are they going to be able to step up really?
Yeah, bang on the money. So that's in comprehension. Intensity, pretty straightforward. Okay, does this person have the right intensity, for want of a better word, for the position that you're filling? For example, if they're going to be a site foreman, they're going to need to have high attention to detail, and they're going to need to take quite a leadership role, right? And they're going to need to make sure that you hit timelines and you maintain quality standards, okay? So just enthusiasm and empathy, probably not going to cut the mustard there, okay? However, if you need somebody that is going to be your office manager, okay, they're going to need to be somebody that makes no mistakes, okay? They might need to move quickly though. They might need to have good communication and good empathy because they're working with highly stressed people like yourself, okay, like your project manager, your foreman, okay? So they might need to have a level of communication that's higher than most. So you need to consider what sort of intensity does this person need to bring to the table in terms of, errors versus enthusiasm versus empathy versus attention to detail. Okay, the list can go on, and we've actually got it listed all in our document. Okay, just type hiring below if you want to get all this stuff for you to review later, or click save on this video so that you can watch it again next time. Okay, so that's kind of one side of this equation: comprehension and intensity. The other side is outcome and skill. Now, what do we mean by outcome and skill, I hear you ask? Well,
Yeah.
Matt.
Please tell.
Yeah, I'm pleased you asked. So, what is the outcome for you? This is your business, not anybody else's, and you need to build it to benefit yourself. Okay? So, business is just a tool that's going to provide you with leverage for yourself and your family. Okay? Both time and money. And you need to make sure that tool is efficient for you. So, what outcome do you need this person to fill? Do you need them to just be a body on site? Do you need them to lead a site? Do you need them to do the pricing? Do you need them to take care of the client communication for you? What is the outcome that you want them to achieve? Best way to start here is to look at your stop doing list. Okay, so Matthew, you're familiar with the stop doing list. Summarize it for the people that are watching that might not know what it is. Kind of in a nutshell, like what's a stop doing list and how does it apply?
And, the best way to look at it is there's only ever so much time in the day, so much time in the week. And if you want to elevate yourself to, your ideal role in the business, whether it's that owner-operator, general manager, getting off site, you're ultimately going to have to stop doing things along the way. And the stop doing list is really putting that into a bit of an order of priority and going, cool, what do we knock off first? We want to get off site. We want to, stop driving out to the merchant to pick up, that lumber or whatever it might be at the bottom of that list, and then start that process of actually doing that.
Yeah, 100%. And you might find that, all of these little tasks are all around client communication, all around office stuff, all around site project management. You need to find somebody that's going to be able to create that outcome for you. So we're hiring to solve an outcome, right? We're not hiring necessarily on skills. That comes next and is a consideration next. Okay. So the next consideration, oh no, what have I done? Next consideration is skills in the team. I've just erased. Yeah. I'm telling you what it is. It's skills in the team. So skills in the team, what do we mean by this? Well, if you've got a team that's already full of phenomenal carpenters, okay, then do you need another guy that is really good at finishing? Or do you need a guy that can pump stuff out? Do you have skills in the team of people that are really good at, talking to clients already? Or do you have a team of, quiet, reserved guys, and you need somebody that brings the skill of, being forward facing to clients so that they can take maybe some of the client meetings? Like, what skills does your team, is your skills really strong at? Is your team really strong at? And what skills is your team really weak at? And who do you need to add to your team? It's like the All Blacks don't have 15 Richie McCaws or Dan Carters, because although they're the best players in the world, you still need your front row, right? You still need other people to have a really big impact to make sure that the sum of the parts is greater than the individuals. So who do you need to add to your team? What skill set might you need to add? And might you over-index for in the hiring process when you're looking at things? Does that make sense, Matthew?
Yeah, and I think probably a big one as well is not only is like missing in from your team, but also what skills are you not great at? What's the stuff that you're doing now that isn't really your area of expertise? But when you start a business, hey, you always end up doing things that maybe aren't your sort of bread and butter or what you really want to do, but that's just part of business. But if you start to understand, maybe those particular skills that maybe you're not great at paperwork, maybe you don't want to sit in front of the computer, doing the invoicing, and you don't do it very well. Maybe that's the skill that you're better to find someone who's really good at it, who can come in one day a week, take care of it, rather than you spending 5 days after hours.
100%. What you were explaining there is the fun skills matrix that we spoke about last week, and you bang on the money. It's like, you're the business owner. It's your business. You need to make sure that it works for you. So, last part of thinking time before we get into writing a job ad, writing a job description, and getting real clear on it, and that resource to recap all these questions and to write your job ad and write your job description, you get your hands on, you just need to type in hiring below and we will hook that up for you. Now, 5 questions to work through when you're thinking about your BMD or your business maturity date, your finish line for the business, okay, is these 5 questions that you should really be asking yourself sort of every other month, every quarter at a minimum. We do these with our members every time we get to a Builder Summit. We're actually got one coming up at the end of July, July the 30th. If you're interested in hearing more about that, then ping us a DM or keep your eyes peeled in your email. So the 5 questions. Who will you hire next? Okay, so if you're watching along with us, okay, I'm going to give you 2 seconds of thinking time right now. Who are you going to hire next? Think about it. Maybe write it down. Who's the next person that you need to hire? Okay. When will you hire them? Now, the mistake a lot of people make is they often think about whens in terms of timelines. And timelines are cool. They're really good to have an idea of a timeline, okay? But the problem in our industry is that sometimes timelines can get thrown out of whack. Like things get delayed in council and without consent. Sometimes, people can't choose the bloody fixtures and fittings and the different tiles that they want, and timelines get hung up. Sometimes, funds don't get released from the bank and timelines get hung up as well. So what you really want to be thinking about when you're talking about when will you hire them is you want to be thinking about milestones. And you might set yourself like 3 or 4 milestones. I need X number of dollars in the bank. I need X number of months of work booked out in front of me. I need, this thing, that thing, and the other thing. I need a clear job description for the person. I need to identify a short list of 3 candidates. Okay? And once you've achieved maybe 2 of those milestones, you can start hiring. And once you've achieved 4 or 5 or all of those milestones, you can hire the person. So when will you hire them? You can obviously put like a date, like, August the 15th. But the way that I like to approach things, and I've seen our most successful members approach things, is I've actually gone milestones. I will hire this person once certain criteria are met. And if you want help formalizing that criteria, then let us know and we can give you a hand with that. 3rd question. Did that make sense, Matthew? Anything to add on that?
100% milestones. Life gets in the way, but milestones are always a good way to hold yourself accountable.
100%. It keeps you more outcome driven and focused, focused on the things that actually get an outcome and get your momentum, rather than just going, oh, well, it'll happen by August. It's like, no, no fucking won't. Not if it's going to do the work. Yeah, totally. All right. Next part is more about yourself. So how many hours will this person save you per week? So it's we're not abdicating, we're delegating whenever we hire. So we're not just going, cool, that person's going to work 40 hours a week. That saved me 40 hours a week. No. There's typically the 10-80-10 rule whenever we bring somebody on. And it's that you're going to need to be with them at the first 10%. They're going to be able to do stuff for the lion's share or the 80% in the middle. And then you're going to come back in to inspect your expectations in the final 10% as well. And that's where, they're probably not going to come in and take 40 hours off you. They're probably going to come in and take 25 to 30 hours off you, because you're going to need to be there at the beginning to make sure you set clear and communicate really crystal clear expectations and how and kind of outcome that you want this person to do. They're going to go away with their skills to solve an outcome for you, okay? And then they're going to come back and you're going to inspect your expectation in the final 10, okay? And make sure that you're quality controlling, you're checking that it's working, that it's going how you want it to be, okay? But how many hours will this person save you per week? I want you to sort of actually think about that. If this office manager is going to come in, it's currently taking you 20 hours a week doing office admin. How many hours are they going to save you? It's probably somewhere between 10 to 15.
Yeah, that reminds me of Todd went through that process, right? Spending a lot of time on his admin, and by just hiring that one role, probably the next question really, what would it free him up to do?
100%. So what would this free you up to do is the next question, and you need to answer this next. So with that 10 to 15 to 25 hours that you've brought back, what are you now going to be able to do? And it doesn't have to just be, I'm going to work harder, right? It can be, I'm going to recharge my batteries, be a better leader, and turn up as a better human because I'm going to go to sleep earlier. I'm going to be able to go to the gym every week. right? It can be stuff for you, not just stuff for your company. So what's it going to free you up to do?
It's a massive one, like for so many, guys that we speak to, it's like just in that survival mode, in that kind of absolutely stretched thin, and know that they're not doing everything really to their potential. And just that being able to go home and spend some time with the family, recharge the batteries, come into work the next day, and work solidly for 8 hours on the business without having to do a 12-hour day. Can guarantee that they would be able to move a lot of those big projects and a lot of those big parts forward in the business a lot quicker.
Yeah, 100%. Second place only to your most valuable resource being time is your energy, right? And it's like, yeah, cool. We've all had instances where you've got more done in 3 hours than you have in 3 weeks because you've had the right energy and you've had the right headspace to get something actually done. Energy is incredibly important. If you're not hiring to free up energy, hiring to delegate out an outcome, and you're not freeing yourself up to apply energy in better areas to get things done more efficiently, then you're pushing shit uphill, really.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Last question. What's the opportunity cost of staying where you are? So what most people, when I pose this to them, they're like, what's an opportunity cost? That's a fair question. So an opportunity cost is kind of like, let's say at the moment, hey, it's going great. All right, I'm making $150,000 net profit. Problem with that is, you kind of don't know what you don't know. And maybe you're making 150K net profit, but you're leaving an extra 200K on the table because you have leaky margin, you have like margin creep. You think it's fine getting 15 to 16 to 17% margin heading in, but really you should be achieving 20 to 25% margin heading in. And you're leaving all of this on the table. That's opportunity cost. Like, what's it costing you not taking this action? It's costing you probably a financial amount, right? By improving your margin, by improving your profitability. Okay. Could also be costing you an energy and a time amount. Maybe what you think your business maturity date could be in 3 years, you could actually achieve in 15 months by finding the right person with the right skill set to get this done with you in collaboration rather than by yourself doing it yourself, right? The opportunity cost, the meme that comes to mind for me is always that I'm too busy with these square wheels, pushing these square wheels when somebody's trying to sell you circular ones, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's it costing you actually staying where you are? Did you add anything to that, Matthew?
Yeah, and I think a big one, and I remember talking to a guy recently who was really, when we sort of dug into it, the cost of the way that he was running his business was that he wasn't able to spend the time with his daughter that he wanted to, and we can talk about profits and we can talk about role in the business, but there are more important things in life as well. And that's a big cost that a lot of the guys we speak to pay is the time that they aren't able to spend with their family or on in important areas as well.
100%. So let's recap. Before writing your job ad, before writing your job description, to make sure that it's clear, it's really clear about who you do want and who you don't want, okay? Then you need to go through these three thinking frameworks. First one is our Moscow framework. Second one is our comprehension intensity, outcome skill framework. And the third one is our BMD questions to make sure that your hire aligns with your business maturity date. If you found this helpful, and if you want to get a job ad template, a job description template, a really clear list of the benefits that you should include in these things so that you attract the right kind of people, some really clear copy lines and some takeaway notes to make sure that you can sort out useless people and attract some better ones, then comment hiring below. We've used this template with over 500 of our members to make sure that they get some good applicants and can make a more informed and best odds on success hire. So this isn't just something we dreamt up. This is battle tested, proven and in play right now for some of our highest performing members that are finding good guys and are positioning themselves as an employer of choice or a contractor of choice. So, Matthew, before we wrap up,
yeah, done the thinking for you. It's a good way to save some time. Just get that hiring template.
100%. Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. So well done, man. Like anything to add before we knock off, guys? If you're watching, leave us a question, leave us a comment. Otherwise, might get a little bit sad. You can see, I can see there's a couple of people watching now, 5 of you. So please hit us up. Anything you'd add, Matthew? Though.
No, man. I think look, hiring's just another system in your business, and look, it's something that I think every business in every area struggles with, and you've got to have a bit of a process to do it. But there is a solution, there is an answer, and the answer is to be better than the other 90% of building companies out there. Because if everyone's struggling, you're better to be at the top than to be at the bottom.
100%. Yeah. You don't own the problem. If you own the problem, you get to own the solution, right? If you want to be into the problem, then yeah, cool. You're gonna get shitty guys applying, and it's gonna be a bit of hard work. Awesome. Alrighty. Well, I think that's us.
Awesome, man.
Cool.
Have a great rest of your day. See you later, guys.
Let us know where to send the resource, comment hiring below. Otherwise, we'll see you online again next week. Here's to your success, and been an absolute pleasure. Take care.
See you, man.